You're watching my April update to Pan Those Eyeshadows, and this project was started by Alexi here on YouTube. If you don't know her already, you can check her out in the description down below. She's not participating this year. Gotta give credit where credit's due. This is an eyeshadow-oriented project pan where you either set usage goals or set a goal to hit pan, or maybe you set a goal to actually finish a whole eyeshadow. I don't know, it's up to you. That is the beauty of it. And without further ado, the first palette I have is the Urban Decay Basics 2. I finally did hit pan on Skimp, which is the light kind of base color shade in this palette. One of you recommended that I use it as a setting powder or just a all-purpose blend out eyeshadow, and that's kind of what I ended up doing so that I could use more. I am not a huge fan of setting powders lately, but if I use a little bit of this to set my under eye or to set some areas where I do feel like I get oily, you can't really tell that there is a very light amount of non-shimmery light eyeshadow. So it worked out for me. Thank you so much for that recommendation. Multi-purposing this shadow is what saved me. I have this purple shade from the Maybelline Total Temptations palette in my rotation, and I'm not worried about this eyeshadow. I actually really like it. It is powdery and creamy enough that you can use it all the time. It's a great transition shade and a base color, and that's how I am planning on using it now. Now, previously I did hit pan on the brown shade on the lower corner. That took quite a few uses, and I was mixing a little bit of one of the terracotta-ish type shades up here. It didn't work as a contour for me, but I was trying to multi-purpose it. So obviously that had an effect on how many uses it took for me to hit pan on that one. I don't know what it'll be for the purple one. I suspect maybe at least a total of 30 uses. I used only 6 times this month because I was predominantly focusing on Skimp. The next eyeshadow that I have is Annabelle Eye and Brow palette from the drugstore. Sorry if I'm flashing you with the glare. This brown shade, and I used this 6 times as well. Last month I brought it with me in my makeup bag, and that helped get more uses. I had 11 uses last month, and I think it's going back into my makeup bag because it is the next smallest palette and the easiest to quote unquote travel with. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have it in the counter over there. I carry around a makeup bag, and I kind of do my makeup out of that makeup bag minus the couple of larger palettes that I have, and I found that that has removed so much decision fatigue. I was gonna say fatigue. Now I'm trying to make it a point where even if I'm just going to the grocery store, maybe I'll put on some cream blush. So I'm doing better actually with Partners in Cream. You'll see that video on April 10th. I'm actually surprised. It's got a dip, but it's nothing substantial. It's not a very pigmented eyeshadow for that matter. It's just kind of been, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. Actually, I'm not really enjoying using it so much. I think I can hit pan in a couple more months. Following that, I have my 2 shimmery shadows. Now, comment down below if you know how long do Beauty Bay shimmery eyeshadows take for you to hit pan, if you've ever hit pan in them. I know that Alejandra Lisette has this palette in her Pan Those palettes, I think. I don't know. I remember seeing a roundup where she was talking about all the palettes that she wanted to hit pan on really recently. I was actually just watching that today. Anyway, I digress. She might know. If you know, and if you're watching, please tell me. Moss in the Wilderness palette by Beauty Bay. I'm not trying to hit pan on this. I just want to hit 25 uses. This is going slow because I'm prioritizing all of the more neutral shadows right now. It's just easier for me. That I only used once this month, so not fantastic, but I find that focusing on a couple of other shadows does reap the rewards, and if it makes a cohesive color story, 3 or 4 of the shadows together, I run with it. I run with it when I can. Speaking of which, we have the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette, and I am working on the color down here called Crush, and that is a topper shade. I have it on my lids. I love the color, but you know, in the daytime, I don't necessarily want to look like a disco ball. So that is my excuse for that. I only used it twice. So now because I hit pan on one of the eyeshadows that was purchased pre-2021, I went ahead and rolled on the Pretty Random calculator. I don't know what it's called. And I rolled in a dinosaur, the original Naked palette, which I still have, which I showed you guys in my eyeshadow palette collection, which, by the way, I will have linked towards the end of this video so that you can see what my eyeshadow palette collection looks like. I rolled in Half Baked, which is a gold color. Now, I had another gold color in my project a few years ago. I think it was Chase in the Urban Decay 15-year anniversary palette, and that did not go too well. So I'm going to try my darndest to mix this with that Annabelle brown and see where it takes me. If you guys have any recommendations on how to multitask gold products, I don't know that it would make a fantastic highlighter. So that actually kind of makes me nervous, but what eyeshadows could I mix it with to kind of zhuzh up my life a bit and make things a little bit easier? Golds are not typically my favorite eyeshadows to lean into, but again, like I said, I'm gonna try my darndest. Let me show you what my quintet looked like last month versus this month, and check out my eyeshadow palette collection while you're here. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.